Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, and in this video we're going to learn how you can make a workflow in LangGraph using Python. Because in the last video we have seen that what is in state and graph and edge and nodes and edges. If you haven't seen the previous video and if you don't know this concept, please first watch this video, then move to this video, because this video we're going to make a simple workflow using LangGraph. We're not going to make any chatbot or anything, but we make a simple workflow. So understand the workflow of the LangGraph. This is very important to understand the how LangGraph works. Okay, then we can easily make any workflow in future. So first of all, for that we already created I already created a IPNV file and also virtual under a virtual environment. And now I'll install LangGraph. So just go to the terminal and write pip install LangGraph. Okay, and enter. So I have already installed the LangGraph. So it was saying that requirement already satisfied. If you haven't done yet, so it will be installed. Then we'll import the LangGraph from LangGraph.graph import state graph. Okay, we import this function. Okay, state graph. Okay, after this we have to define a state. Okay, we have to define a state. So for define a state, you have to define a class. Under class we define our state. So class is a Python class. I just give a name. First of all, I'm going to tell you that what actually I'm going to make a workflow. So first of all, this workflow can do one thing, simple one thing. Just we make a calculator that can perform only addition. Okay, using LangGraph. So what is state? So when you're going to build a state, so state is contain your data that actually used in your workflow. Okay, so for that case, to make a calculator for only for addition, so we need two things. Okay, number one means num1 and num2, the number that we are going to do addition, and the result, the third variable. Okay, so first we write a class. So then we keep this, we give a name, add state type. So here we need one dictionary type that is called typedix. Okay, so we import this typedix from typing. Import typedix. Okay, so what actually typedix do is that it will actually create a dictionary that actually you can specify the data type of that particular variable. Okay, so you just have to take the argument here. Typedix we take it first number 1. Okay, and num2 I take the variable integer, and second we do num2 and we take the variable as integer also here, and we number 3, and the third variable is result. Okay, because when you're going to make addition, so the result will be stored in this variable, that's called a result. Okay, we also take this variable integer. Okay, that is how we can actually define your state. Okay, statement the data you are actually using your whole workflow. Okay, because to make a calculator for only for addition, so we need three variable, three data like number1, num2 and result, where the addition will be stored. And number 2 is that the number 2 means that what you have to next do, that you have to define your graph. Okay, so first you have to do define the graph. Okay, define the graph, and then you have to define the edge, a node. So node, add node. Number 2 is add edges, and number 2 edges, then you have to compile it. Okay, so first you have to define the graph. Okay, so we'll take a variable called graph, and then we call the object of the state graph. Okay, the state graph, this state graph. Okay, so state graph, and we pass the this class as the argument. Okay, that's called our state. You have to pass the state at state. Okay, that's how we can actually define the graph. Then you have to make a node. Node means you have to make a node. So for this you have to just put graph variable dot add to node. So here you have to pass the Python function, means what work actually you have to done, how many works you have done. You have to make every nodes. Okay, for that case we are going to do one thing, that's called we have performed one task that can actually make a addition of between two numbers. Okay, so for that we need one function, Python function. In the last video we have discussed this, that every node means one Python function or specify one task. So we just give this addition, we give a name that's called addition. For this you have to create a function, so I'll create a function over here. The name is addition, df addition. Okay, and you have to pass the state, means this data. Okay, the state, and pass the add state. Okay, so you have to put the variable over here. So this num1 means st.state num1, num2, num2. Okay, then you have to perform the calculation, so we have to put the also result variable. I have to get a variable result, so we do the addition of the two number num2. Okay, result, and you have to store this result into this dictionary result in this variable. Okay, key, in this key, actually this is not actually key. Okay, this is the dictionary key result, num1, num2, these are the key. You have to store the value of the total the result in the result key. Okay, so we just is result is equal to result. Okay, we just store this total number of addition in this key, and just simply the return the state, and this state. Okay, we have to just make a, we have defined one task, and each task is a specify one Python function, and each task also define a one node. How many tasks you perform, how many nodes you have to create. Okay, every time. So we just put the function name over here, just addition. Okay, So we have, as we are performing one task, so we don't need to create another node. So you just go to the move edges. Okay, we have to make create a workflow. Edges means that what task actually will we perform next. Okay, so you have to, for that you have to create a edges. So just we call the graph dot add underscore edge, and you have to, first what you have to do, you have to start from the this function. You have to, for that you have to import two module, that is state and another one end. Okay, it means that where you start and where you end in your workflow. So we start from the this addition function. So first we have to put specify the state, then specify then you have to, the next workflow means we have to perform addition. Then you have to end the graph, because after performing the addition, what you have to do is you have to end the workflow. So graph dot edge addition and end. Okay, so we are define our edges also, start addition end, because we just performing one task, that's why just start and end. Then you have to compile our workflow. So we have just created one variable workflow is equal to graph.compile. We just will compile, we just compile the graph. Okay, then we have to pass the data that we are going to calculate. So we are just creating a dictionary that's called actually first if, and under if we just pass the value as a dictionary. So num1 value I'm going to put 10, and num2 value we're going to put suppose 30. Okay, that's actually we have done this, and we are making a mistake over here. We have to pass this. Okay. Then you have to invoke the workflow. So invoke means you have to put through the value to the this workflow. R is equal to workflow dot invoke, and simply pass the data. Okay, and run the code from ground up. Oh, you have to just run this. Okay, from where I'm getting error from where, let me see what its error is. Type dix. Oh, I make a mistake over here. Type dix. Okay, run each and every cell. Also having a error. What is the error is num2. Oh yeah, num, I'm just putting num only, so to num2, run the code, just pin the R. Okay, let me see the answer, it's coming or not. The result is coming out, num1 10 and 30 is the result is 40. Okay, this is how you can actually make a workflow. Okay, you can actually make this as a simple Python code. Okay, just this code you can actually make this, it's a node code. We don't need to perform this kind of written this much of code, but we have to just learn the workflow of the LangGraph. Okay, so that's why I make this. And another things I have also done, we also can actually add one task, like we want to do subtraction. Okay, that's why also we can do this actually over here. We can actually put a condition. Okay, so also I have also made this. This is how, this is the how same we create a state, and we add also one key that's called choose. Means you have to choose what you have to do next. We go for the addition or we go for the uh, subtract. Okay, subtraction. Okay, you have to choose this. So for this we created one key that's called choose. Then we go for the first condition. Okay, so first you have to define a node. So we do three tasks mainly. Okay, one addition, number two subtract, and number three is choose method. So you have to also choose the method. This is also a task. Okay, for that we created a three class. One is addition, the same thing, and subtract also, this is also same. Okay, we have just created a one choose method function that's called choose the method. If user put sub, so you can go for the this function will be called, and if go for the add, so this function will be called. Okay, this method. So that's why we created three nodes, each node specify one task. Okay, then you have to move to the edges. How we can create edges? So here we have to put a condition, because first you have to choose what you should go. You should go for subtraction or addition. Okay, so we have to put a condition over here. Okay, if you just choose subtraction, so you have to go for the subtraction. Okay, that's why this is also one another edges we can get add underscore condition underscore edges. With the help of this we can create actually conditional workflow. Okay, so first we start here, and then we go for the choose method. Then we specify that what you have to do. If user choose addition here over here. Okay, first this function will be called. After calling this function, if user put sub, so this function will be called. So here same addition. If user put addition, then addition function will be called. If user put subtract, so subtract call will be called. Okay, based on this edges graph workflow will be triggered. If user put addition, so this create this, do the addition, then end the workflow. If user put subtract, so this edges will be triggered and then end workflow. Okay, the same method. Okay, you have to just put a condition, nothing much more than this. Okay, then you have to compile the graph, what I have done before. Actually same thing. We just pass the value over there, that's called initial state. We invoke this data, and then we print this simply. We also run this code and see. Let me see how it is. Just run this cell, run, let me run the all the function. Then run this function. Let me see. Also I change the data over here also. Let me see how it is. Actual list, and we also add the sub. Okay, and let's see. Okay, num 30, num 240, result -10. Okay, we are getting the right output. Let me see one more time. 50 output 10. Okay, we are getting the result. This is how we can also create a conditional workflow. Okay, every node actually Python function, nothing but. Okay, everything you have to done inside the Python function, and every tag specify the one node. Okay, and edges specify the what should be done next. Okay, like in case of condition, you have to just put addition, so after addition the addition will happen. Okay, if subtraction will be happen. So nothing very difficult. Okay, this is a simple workflow. We haven't using any LLMs over here. In the next video I will LLM and make a LLM workflow, how you can actually call LLM and how you can make a LangGraph workflow using any particular LLM. Okay, so if you like this particular video, please thumbs up, and if you have any query, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys.